Started on this mid-November day. Are we surprised that we're having a market-wide rally? Almost as if this is something that was prophesized over the last 10 months, that this would be the day, this would be the time that we should have the reversal. We should start to see direction. And over the last several days, I talked about how this was going to be the single easiest rally to determine that we've done in the entire year. With all the pessimism, with all of the negativity, with all the ones saying that this time's different, do not buy it, sell your crypto, it's over. The weekly was massively oversold. The daily came down to verify, validate that oversold condition, massively oversold. And I went through every reason why we were going to go up. I've positioned everybody, and as the best I can, I've talked about how tune out the noise, and you're going to do very well, but you have to buy at the right times. I set up a perfect trade for everybody at the $2.19 mark if you were a leverage trader to the $2.22 range. It left enough area where we have a lot of people that like to do the 35 and the 25, so I always have to remember that in my head. And now it's playing out exactly in mid-November like it should. Now, we'll see what happens as we get up to this next resistance. We broke through two of them so far. As we head up to our $2 and roughly 67-cent area, I will answer some of the questions I got from my morning, what do you call it? Short, because I had some questions. I guess some people seen my face for the first time on the one side. So yes, I did have first-degree burns on the right side of my face, as you can see right here. It's healing, but I had Saturday morning when I was making Julie coffee. It was about 7 a.m. and the coffee pot on the front, for whatever reason, the piece that was holding on the filter and everything, it broke off the side, hit the side of the countertop and splashed right onto my face, all through here. Melted my skin, but I didn't have any blistering. It's hard over the top now, so it's easier to touch. I can take a shower and whatever. But definitely had a nice little first-degree burn there. So that's what that is. Because some people, I guess, were concerned in the morning video. I got some messages in my email, which was nice. My son's home today from school. He's a little stuffy and congested, as you guys know from the weekend. May or may not have had a low-grade fever. It was like right on the cusp. So we kept him home today. Don't want him to get anybody else sick. So I'm in a different room that I'm not usually in. It's Michaela's room, our college student now. She's out at Kalamazoo. She went back yesterday. She came home for a couple days for the weekend. So one of the good things about the kids leaving is I can use their room. So no, I'm not in the middle of a street. That's actually the top of her thing that we built here. So she likes to sleep off the ground. So like it's got a ladder to get up there and whatever. So yeah. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. As we can see this morning, it's not my live. I greatly appreciate if you hit that like button. It did not advertise it to me, to none of my accounts. Even the one I use on Julie's, it did not show it. So I would greatly appreciate if you guys could help push this around. It's vitally important to have as many people as possible. I have no doubt in my mind that by the time this gets going, there's going to be over 100 people in here. Just by virtue, even if they're not part of our audience, just by virtue of seeing what's going on, that they'll end up joining. Maybe not. Maybe some people won't join today because they're mad that it's going up and they missed out and they listened to the wrong, that's just some of the things that happen. But we're in a very good positioning right now. There is no doubt about that. We're in a great positioning. No hat, Tom Bearish. No, I just don't have a hat on. I burned myself, so I haven't been wearing my hat as much. But yeah, no hat. If you guys appreciate what I do with how good we've done here, I would encourage you to join Tom's Army. Gift this sub to somebody who's not part of the community so they can see it, but it's been nothing short of spectacular. This has been nothing short of spectacular. There is not a single thing that's happened in the crypto market in this entire year that has caught me by surprise. In fact, it's my best year on record, just understanding the charts and what they need to do. So it's
currency, and you will see
just going back. But now, I mean, you can see the flip again. And it's not just crypto. Look what gold did today. I just put out on a couple days ago about when B2 gold was at $3 and 50 something, when it had that drop down, when Silver Corp mining was down below 6 or near 6, when Dolly Varden was at 356. I showed the advanced purchases and why I rebought back in and why I thought it was about to have a reversal. And now here we are. Just it's one of those things, you wake up Monday morning and not only is crypto crushing it, as far as what we do, but seeing commodities, precious metals, mining stocks start to pick up a little bit. It's pretty interesting. The XRP Bitcoin pairing picked up about 6.6%. But again, it's Monday morning, November 10th. So somebody said I'm bearish. It's not bearish. It's just more like we could have some consolidation here for sure. But right now we're at $2.56, up about just over 8% in the day. We came perfectly up to this 255. And once we get past this is where it starts to get mediocrely hot. And the reason I say mediocrely is because we still need to get past this area. Until we get past this area, until we get past this, it's we're still below in the bearish side of town as far as the parabolic spike, but this is exactly what we want to see. Now, the only thing we're not seeing is the huge volume spike, but this is something that I always talk about. Even if you're not getting a huge volume spike, you want to see increasing volume as the candles pick up. So when we've reversed up, finally, we had 2.33 million on this exchange and 3.67. Now today with 10 hours and 8 minutes left, 666, of course. Why am I not surprised? The devil would be lurking. So don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior, Yahweh, Yeshua, our Creator God Himself. Show humility, stay humble, show integrity, try to minimize the undertone towards other people, which I do a bad job at sometimes when I'm trying to make a point. But today I'm not going to be throwing anybody under the bus except myself if I have to. But other than that, good morning. 8:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, November 10th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Ironically, I burned my face on my grandpa's 91st birthday, just hours before I would actually go to his house to celebrate it. So they got to see a interesting side. And then not at my grandpa's birthday, hours before Julie's sister's wedding on Saturday, I did it. So I had to go to the wedding and my face was like melting. That was good times. At least it didn't blister. At least it stayed just below the surface. That's a good thing. Wow, Ronald Grump, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's over 3+ months with the XP Meteor, but gifting a sub to somebody who doesn't have it. And look who came back into the army now. Papa Wheelie. Haven't seen him in a minute, but Papa Wheelie, congratulations on being back in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. Very loyal viewer of the show. Very, very helpful person in the community as well. D. Rojas got the alert 5 minutes late. Yeah, it's a good thing I sent it out. That was me sending the alerts out, so at least that worked, right? Sometimes it doesn't work, but I'm gonna approach this with a smile. I've had some weird dreams the last 2 days. I keep talking about it, but something weird's about to happen in this world. Last time I had these kind of dreams, we got locked down for several years, and then before that, I don't want to go into what happened before that, but I keep having dreams where we're in a plane, we're flying. The first time we crash down into the ocean and we're just riding across the bottom and then implode, and it's like the thought of, all right, we're leaving this world into the next. Last night, same kind of dream, flying through the air. All of a sudden, emergency landing. Ended up going down the street on a plane, and then the plane just implodes in the middle of traffic. And then that same feeling of waiting for the Lord to take us. So it's one of those things. It's like I feel like we're about to be visited in some weird way, and I don't know if it's gonna come before or after the stupid Atlas and Project Bluebeam and things like that, or if it's gonna. I don't know, but something's going on. But I digress. We talked about this weekend how we thought that we could have a return to the government on Monday morning, and now it looks like we're pretty close. I will say though, I'm very happy with a couple of things. One, XRP, the way that it moved out to 255 and blew past this resistance zone is vitally important. And now this is what I will preface this on. We could very well come back down, ladies and gentlemen, to this $2.42 mark. After a volatile spike like this, I would not be surprised to see it push out. I would not be surprised. There's very small moments in time when you can look at the chart, even if you're trading as a spot trader, and you can be like, you know what? This is a better time than not to take a leverage trade. This is not one of those times. So please sit down. This is not one of those times. Let me repeat. This is not one of those times. Can I say it any harder? If you are a leverage trader, sit down. Turn your computer off today. Way too overbought on the stochastic and the 4 hour. If you go leverage hunting right now, you're going to get slaughtered, especially if you go long. Not saying you can't do extremely well, but the time to go leverage long was 219 when it was easily identifiable as a support structure. And yes, after we came to 206, we went up here. Once it came down to this rotation, this was the area. Yeah, you could have bought at 219, 222. You had plenty of room all the way down to 215, or you waited for the return back test. But this was the time to do it, not up here. Period. Not up here. So, please, if you're listening to me, I gave out the advice if you wanted to leverage trade down here. I have the trade. Like I said when I did it, that is the spot, and I talked about the parameters, but not right now. Not right now. And the problem with it is if you are taking it from now, there's people that took it out from down there. And like, I can use myself as a small sample size, but this is where I get nervous for anybody trying to do it. Right now, the trade that I am in, and like, I do not like the gloat at all, so I don't even know if I want to talk about it, but there's a reason for this, because the top side liquidity is killing us. If crypto, yeah, okay, well, since there's some of you in the same group, I'll send this to my email and I will show it for 2 split seconds so you can see what I'm talking about. And like, I do things below the radar a lot, as you know, but I talk about it. I say this is the parameters. This would be the time if you want to take a shot. This is not the time if you want to take a shot. This is because for anybody who's already taken that shot, they can let this consolidate down. They can sell it. But I'm telling you, they got to get somebody's liquid. It still could very well go up to this next 265 or even higher before a retracement. It's just, I don't want people to lose all their money because they want to go with the easy finesse of the leverage. If you're going to do it, we have to find it in confined areas. We just have to do that. There's no other, you cannot do it once it bounces up this much. Because now they're going to, I have a feeling they're going to leverage hunt. It might be when it gets to 268, but at some point, or 265, at some point we're going to back test this. It could be today. We could come hit 255 and then come back down here and back test 242. So, and I hate showing this, but one time I'll show it. Just because I do talk about what, that's what I'm talking about. That's the position I opened. So that is where we're looking from all the way down at the bottom to now. So if there's that much of a differential from when we said to open to now, that's a problem. This is a problem if you try to open it right now, because now you got all this leverage going from below. So it's a problem. So don't get caught with that. Right now it's spot. You let it play out. And then the next opportunity, if you are in fact trying to do something like that, you've got to wait for it to bounce back either the support structure at 242 and prove a hold, or you've got to wait for this pattern to reset a little bit. Right now, it's dangerous to try to get into those positions. Right now, I'd be looking at the next area of spot. I'd be looking at the next area, personally. I was asked yesterday what I would do if I had a leverage trade open, and I was very point blank about it. It was up 200% yesterday. I said, I'm not closing it. My goal is to have one of these ride up about a $20,000 profit. And I have no doubt in my mind if XRP does what it needs to do, it's going to do it. But I need to have an opening where I've got much room that it can back. See, here's the key with leverage. If you're trying to ride it long term, we opened it around 221, depending on where you're at. And now you've got all this up and down. It's not about how much you're up right now. It's about not getting closed out and allowing this to do everything it needs to do. Now, is there profit time? That I can only tell you is up to you. Right now, we have engulfing candles in the 4-hourly. Yes, we're severely overbought in the 4-hourly. Daily's got plenty of room only in the neutral area. So that's an incredible feeling to have right now that we've moved up this far. And we're only up that far in the daily. So you've got to get in before the wave starts to be able to ride it. That's the bottom line. You're right about that, crypto plumber, but none of it's safe. You know, that might not even be safe, but right now it's in a premium spot because now we can let the market do what it needs to do today. But that's all I do. That's all I do. I wait for the opportunity when everybody becomes pessimistic, and then I take advantage. That's it. It's my whole trading philosophy. When all the market starts to get cringe, when everybody starts to get extreme fear, when everybody starts to feel sorry for themselves, when everybody says it can't happen, it's over, I'm like, ooh, we got an epic opportunity here. I do not. I never short. Period. Never, ever, ever will I short. I have an extreme philosophy for that. I'm looking for bullishness. I'm looking for bullishness. So I never short. Ever. I used to, but it throws me off my game. I'm looking for the setups for the up direction and then understanding the corrective to the downside. I don't want to force it back down because then it's basically I'm betting against what I'm doing in spot. I don't like to do that. I'd rather not short it and wait for the pristine setup like we had in the unique opportunity when it was massively oversold in the weekly. The daily caught up every single time frame from the 30-minute to the daily to the weekly was caught up. And it was a perfect opportunity. But I do not personally like the short. I don't even like the leverage trade, to be honest with you. I've only taken out 2 leverage trades in the last like 5 months. And the only other one, well, that was a couple weeks ago when we had the big drop. And once again, we had a setup where it was the push out. Short, I'd be killing. So basically a short trade means it's essentially the same as like if you take out a spot trade to go up, except you're taking a leverage now to go down. So you can even do 1x, but the difference between a 1x leverage and a 1x, like a long and short, a long cannot be liquidated if you go 1x. Can't happen. There's no liquidity to take you out. If you go short, the first 100% move up, you're liquidated. And that's the common misconception. I would encourage everybody to stay spot, as I don't like the leverage trade. I never feel good about it except when there's certain opportunities, and I discussed it beforehand. I talk about it during the lives. I'd never type it out. So if you're here in person, you can follow, but if not, it's not missing out. It's just you're not part of it. That doesn't bother me. I'd rather you be part of spot. That's why I don't talk about the other. Our Linea copy trade is up 5.2% today. If you want to be part of the Linea copy trade, as you see, BITUNIX is where I did my leverage trade. I also have XPR Proton on BITUNIX. So that's the 2 things. Obviously, my account's way over what I normally keep it at because that's up like, I don't know how much. But, yeah. Anyhow, so Linea we have as a copy trade. If you want to be part of our copy trades, make sure you go in the pinned comments of this very video or of this very live, or you can look at it after the live itself loads. There's TOOBIT. That's where you can copy me. We have 12 copiers. 11 are in the trade. 21 people are following me. So that means a bunch of people think they're copying, but they're not. They just ended up hearting it. So if that's you, make sure you go back to TOOBIT, type in XRP Future Millionaire in the copy trade and actually follow my copies. Don't just heart it, because then you're watching like if I make a post on there, which I probably never will. So that's a big difference. We're actually moving in the right direction on our copy trade. So, but if there was anybody, there's one person with any kind of consolidation, I could always add to it. I know we have with Linea, we have the 2.08 billion token unlock coming. I think it's on the 10th. Yeah, 2.88 billion. So Linea will unlock 2.88 billion tokens, about 16% of its currently available supply. A large token unlock can make the price go down if many tokens are quickly sold. The number of tokens unlocked is very high, so the risk of price drop is real. But if most investors keep their tokens, the effect could be smaller. Some traders may try to sell before they unlock to avoid falling prices. Others may look for chances to buy if the price drops a lot. And now look, we've gone into the 10th. And right now, we've talked about this before. It doesn't necessarily have to go down if the market is going in the up direction. If you are watching, 50% of you hit the like button. Please make sure to hit that like button. I don't ask for anything out of anybody. So, for the free information that I've been doing since March 24th of 2021, the fact that I have legitimately directed you, I pulled you by the dick and showed you exactly where to go on every step of the way. You don't even have to think anymore. All you got to do is come in here every single day. Remember what I said the last 2 days? Every single person who, even the ones who know technical analysis, flip bearish for some reason right before a surge. And I kept saying it, like, don't buy into that nonsense. If you guys have been watching me for 4.5, almost 5 years without taking a day off, don't you have the faith yet that I know what I'm talking about? Don't you have the faith that I might be a step ahead of everybody else? God gave me the vision for a reason. He gave me the foresight when I was very young, and he's given me the ability to dissect a pattern before it ever happens. I'm trying to push this on to everybody else every single day, in more than just one direction. Crushing it this morning. Crushing it. People are always like, how do you not go to work? Well, it certainly ain't from my YouTube channel. And I'm not harping on it. We're doing fine. I think the last 30 days, it's like $2,800. I'm not afraid to show it. I talk about it all the time. $2,700 the last 28 days. 12 whole new subscribers. As you can see, I get subscribers, they drop the hell off. Subscribers, they drop the hell off. Subscribers, they drop the hell off. Every single time. So, YouTube is not, making me supremely rich because I don't do any advertisements and I earn every penny I make on YouTube. 95% of what I earn is from the members of Tom's Army and the generosity that you guys send me. So it's I do a lot of work to make $2,700 in a month. I could go out and sell my time for way more than $2,700. Believe me, if I wasn't doing this and I was just trading and focusing on certain things, like 3 days, that leverage trade made more than I'm going to make the whole day, the whole month on YouTube. That's pretty crazy when you think about that. I think that is what I'm waiting for to jump in the spot. Would that be smart? I hit the like. Luke says, what would be a good stop loss to protect a major pullback? Obviously, don't want to get stopped out, but also don't want to lose these gains. XRP to the moon. In spot, I wouldn't even consider selling anything. You're trying to build into the next cycle. Right now, we're in the most prestigious time. Yeah, there's going to be consolidations, but I'm not surprised that to start the second week we have this move. We've been talking about the second week of November for so long. It's almost crazy that it happened on the second week of November. I'm not looking to sell anything. If you're talking about a leverage trade, that's completely up to you. That's completely up to you. But I'm not selling nothing. This is just the start. For what I think is going to happen going forward, and I don't know if it's going to be in the first quarter, second quarter, when we truly go parabolic of 26, or if it's going to be now. But I do know we're not anywhere near where we're going. And the more people FUD it up, the more people tell you that this cycle is different and it can't go up. That's what you want. The fear and greed should go up a little. It's only at 29. It only went up 2. With all that movement, it only went up 2. That doesn't seem right. It was at 27 last night. It's only at 29. Are people really this pessimistic still? This should be a good lesson for everybody. As now 68% of the people have hit the like button in the audience. But shouldn't it be a lesson now? Remember all the people and everybody in the audience, especially how we feel when it's in extreme greed and the price is going up and yada, 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 and everybody wants to buy. And then when it's in extreme fear, nobody wants to buy. Everybody thinks it's over. That's the point of extreme fear. That's the point of the pessimism. That's the point of continuously talking about how people are willing to sell what they were saying. I'm going to sell this junk. But their own words. That they're going to sell it. Now, Monday morning, we're coming up to that 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You got no doubt that we should get a shuffle backwards now. But I don't know how fast it's going to be. Daily's got plenty of. The daily still says it's got a lot of life. We're about midway through this move, is what the daily's telling us. The weekly is telling us we're just getting started. I mean, look, we just broke bullish in the weekly stochastic. I mean, come on now. There's not even any volatile movement here yet. It's crazy. Last time we were this low, as we discussed, we went up $1.30 in a very short amount of time. So we haven't done nothing yet. We have a nice, perfect weekly reversal right now. That is a weekly reversal to start the new week. Now we're going to want to see it volatilely stabilize a little bit. And then hopefully on the close, so what we're looking for today is to be over that 255.8, 255 area. Get a close up there and we'll cook. Did we get another gifted membership? Are you kidding me? Wow. My yard now. Thank you so much for being in 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor and also sending a gifted sub. Rich got the gifted sub. Thank you so much for your first month and the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. What a spectacular audience we have. But yeah, we're just building into this. The volume, though, I'm not very happy about. I can be the first to say that. I'm not happy about the volume. In fact, I'm looking to see what the next real opportunity is here. I like that the 30-minute fell out. Should have one more fallout now that we hit here. Let's see, what's that? 237. Hey, I'm still looking at this. I'll be honest. After that big run up, I'm looking at this chart. Not this one. This one. I'm looking at this firm because if we don't break to the next level to 265 right away, I could see something like this start to take shape. Oh, I love the green. I could see something, you know, where we're maybe. And then if we want to, or we're expanding off of some kind of uptrend here. Whoops. Little uptrend. Come down, tap, bounce back around, end up flying back around, and then you use that to get up to that 265 area. Or, let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, it's either we get stuck here, have a little bit of a come down, or we're going right up to 265 area. And if we go to the 265 area, that's even better for what we're looking for, because then you go 265-ish back to 255 instead of 255 back to 242. That's personally what I want. I know I'm selfish, but that's what I want. We've had a long downturn period. I think it'd be nice. It'd be nice. But remember overnight even in the morning when we woke up, last night in the 30-minute, you would go from 247, 244. So not big movement. It's a little shakeout. Then we went up to 257. Little shakeout back down to 252. Back up to 257. Now we got to see if that's a short-term double top in the 30-minute. If so, we'll clear out probably by 3 to 5%. Be up about 3 to 4% on the day after it clears out. And then we'll go from there. But I still think we're hunting the higher levels. It's just we got to see if there's any kind of clear out. I'm not afraid at all by this. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I could not be happier so far this morning. We talked about Epic last night, how it cleared out, and it was the perfect opportunity. Like, we focused on Epic a lot in the live last night. But it cleared out at a 9% clear out, and all it did was validated the inverse head and shoulders. And now look, it's just killing it. We talked about the 93-cent mark. Our portfolio is going to be something that dreams are made of going for. Once this is all said and done, I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to say, how the hell could this community have known all of this? You know how? You know how our community knows? It's not because we're greedy. It's not because we're self-righteous. It's not because we're cheating. It's not because we have the secret. We're not in the club. We're not invited to the, we know nothing more. We just understand. We dig it deeper. We have a great community of people that are willing to help every single day. And 90% of the people you see in here right now in the chat are the core members. So every single day, these same 100 people come back and they learn, they crave, they desire, and then they teach. The key is we teach each other. We teach. XRP Healthcare I talked about on Friday and said, if you haven't bought yet, I mean, what are you waiting for? It's the right time. Talked about it on Friday. I said, this is the time. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We talked about it. It was at 3 cents. Said if you haven't bought in yet, this is one of those times. If it makes a bounce up, you can make a quick return. And then I always tell people you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you to ride it to the moon. If you wanted to sell it after buying it on Friday because you're up 40% already in 2 days, go for it. 40% can change somebody's world to start the week. It really can. Imagine you put $1,000 on it and it's your last $1,000 and now you're up $400. Did not get a notification today for the first time. Oh, Mrs. Stott, I hate hearing that. And I even shared it like 18 times, well, 3 times. But yeah, I didn't even get one myself. So when I started, there was like 12 people in here. And it didn't even send it to Julie's account, which is what I'm using. So on my the tablet that I have. If you guys are like, what room is he doing this in? This is Michaela's room, the 18-year-old who's now in the honors program at Western. She went back to Kalamazoo last night, even though it was snowing. So she was a trooper. But she made it there safe, and she's in class this morning. So all good, all good. Could you do the same back test check for IOTA for the current move up? Thanks much for your service. Oh, Mr. Boogathorpe, no problem, John. And thank you for being in. I know it's not showing it this morning, but I know you're in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Let's see. I live in the telly. Anyone that denies knowledge is absolutely. Absolutely, Mike. Vadodamus Odele, my friend, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So bad. Papa Wheelie getting that gifted sub from Ronald and back in Tom's Army over 1 year. I said that was a perfect gifted sub that it went to you, Papa Wheelie. I don't know if you were in here, but I was talking about how you've been here around for a long time and you're a very important member of this community, in my opinion. Here's a little bit of this start back to the down. But with every movement up, we need to have these minor retracements. We need to do what we need to do. If we want to see this continue to clear out, we set the parameters. First parameter would be we get rejected at 255. And then it comes down simply. But that might be bull flagging still, so it's not guaranteed. You'd come down to about $2.42-ish. Try to see if this area remains. Unless this is flagging out, then it'll come up to 265 next real quickly. If this is flagging out and we hold the support at 252-ish, let's give it a little grace. Because technically you go up, down, back down. Maybe it comes, let's say you hold 250 or higher. Yeah. Let's say you hold 250 or higher. Because we're trying to see if you avoid retesting here. Let's say you come up, back down, and you do something like this. You very well could end up getting yourself in a little channel here and then going. So that's what we want to see if we start doing something like this. If it breaks this, we know we're coming to 242. If it breaks out of this, we know we're going to 265. And then maybe we back test 255 instead of 242. But either way, I'm not concerned. Either way, couldn't care less. I just wanted it to get past that first area, which we did it with ease. I wanted us to get past. And this is the next area we're talking about if we break out. But I wanted us to get past this. Or get up to this, the 255, and break past here, which is now being talked about as a possible back test. So we overshot very nicely and retook 242. The cool thing is the 30-minute just cleared out real hardcore with that. Real hardcore. Trying to give ourselves a little bit of steam here. 45 hourly, clearing out. 2 hourlies massively overbought. Hourlies pushed down back to neutral. 3, 4 hourlies going to be very overbought. Daily moving up with plenty. The daily is very desirable, right? Look at the daily. Whew. For that kind of movement to only be in neutral, whoo, baby. Weekly, massively oversold. So I always talk about the weekly. When it is that oversold, it's the buying time, not the selling time. Mr. and Mrs. Stott, I appreciate both of you for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Shane says XDC confidence. And Shane, thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Yeah, I know YouTube did not do a good job giving out notifications this morning. I can promise you. XDC right now is up 4%. I mean, are we surprised where it came up to? Are we pretty, we feel pretty good about it. Talked about over the weekend, 594, but obviously it came up a little sooner, so it did actually hit exactly. Now we're looking for, same thing with XRP. If we push up a little bit more, let's say we come up maybe to 6.4, maybe it does pull back. But we want to make sure we stay over that 592 area roughly. And then the next breakout would start pushing 7.5. We thought on winning Wednesdays that was a perfect opportunity for some to get in. I have over 200,000 tokens of XDC, as you guys know, but on Wednesday, winning Wednesdays, I bought another $250 worth. And on winning Wednesdays, it's right about here. We're looking at 519 last Wednesday. So for anybody who bought it with us on winning Wednesdays, 5 days later, you're up 17%. I thought it was a good time to start it. Yeah, Mike, I apologize. And I even shared it twice myself, but YouTube did a horrible job. I didn't even get any of the notifications to Julie's tablet even, which sucks. But hey, that's the way it goes. It just, we deal and we deal. So that's what we're looking at for XDC. I want to look at XLM as well. XLM's cooking as well. We got a lot of things that are doing very well this morning. If we can get the final word that the government shutdown is actually ending, and they actually, I know they passed it through the Senate and whatever, but we need the final word. I don't know if I missed it, but I don't think I did. And then that's going to start a whole new volatile structure. But I'm extremely, extremely happy at what I'm seeing right now. Thoughts on XRPN entry? None yet, Craig Carlson, Mr. Carlson. I expect them to be volatilely up maybe a little bit this morning. There was a small opportunity on XRPNW when it went down to that 90-something cents briefly on Friday. I did not get to see that because I was out and about. But it did come down to 95 cents. Personally, I want to see how these, because we've got a lot of selling since they flipped over with Evernorth and started this, but it's going to be based on the market. So honestly, unfortunately, we should get some upward volatility. I'm a little disappointed Northern Oil and Gas is continuing this upward trek, which we can't be totally surprised by. But I really was hoping that it would take that last little move down and come down into these very desirable areas that end up happening on these charts. But hey, I'm not going to force it. It's not where I want it to be. And if it never comes down there, I'm not going to buy it. I have my strategy. What's the DXY doing? DXY is at 99.5. Dow's up small amount. 10 years. 10 years at 4.12. Small movements here in the gold and silver and mining stocks this morning, which is good to see. Oh yeah, IOTA, somebody asked about 1470 right now at 4% on the day. If we're looking to see some movement on IOTA, right now, first area back test, it's actually trying it right now. We broke out of this perfectly, this little channel, which looked like a flag. Broke over the top. Let's I don't think we actually broke over though, because I think this is off. I think we're actually still, yeah, we're still under it. Don't be deceived. We're still under this. So what we're looking for, one, if we get rejected there, we could technically back test right around 1419. Nice little reversal in the two. I don't think we're going to be able to avoid these reversals in the short time frames. We just came up so fast. Mike B says, so my son is watching your vids from the beginning. He wants to trade, so that's where I told him to start with. Oof. Well, I will say, if you're going into yesteryear videos, I am not as tame as I am now, so he may hear a lot more cussing back in the early days. A lot more. That was basically how I broke through. I was basically obnoxious. I was in your face, and I would tell you were wrong. And then I was proven right. I heard it passed the Senate with 8 down votes. Should go through the House, no problem. Now, that's what I thought, Mr. Stott. You're welcome, Tom. You are welcome. But yeah, that's what I would think with IOTA. I know some are asking about Rose. I gave the Rose. I told everybody about Rose before it had that push up around 1.4 cents because it was a privacy token, and now it's dropped today. But we talked about Rose when it was at the 1 point. It had that drop down, and then I said, hey, you know, with all these other tokens, it did one of these. And right here, I think it was right here when we talked about it. And then it came down here. and then it surged up. This is one of the privacy tokens. It's on the Oasis network, but it's more for like the D apps and things like that. But it's made an all-time low, so am I convinced that this is the time to hold it? Maybe, maybe not, but this is one that is all speculation and conjecture, and one that is not at the top of my list. In fact, it's at the very bottom of my list. If you were buying, this would be the very last one. It's on the bottom side. Sure, it could come up to 4.3 even to back test that breakdown. That's why I thought it was a good opportunity, just how oversold it was. But obviously, it's still massively oversold in the monthly. I mean, unbelievably oversold. Weekly's finally starting to push up. Daily's moved way up. And now it's rounding back down. So who knows if it's going to make another low. But this is definitely one you got to pay attention to. But until it gets over this 4.2 cents, it's severely undervalued. And you're talking about it came down to all-time lows and then some. So now this looks like a gigantic bear flag. Unless this is a bottoming formation, you want to make sure you don't get rejected right where it's at, basically. Otherwise, this could turn into a bear flag backtest breakdown. And if it breaks down, it's going under a penny. Because this whole thing, it can't play out the whole thing. But if this rejected got up here, it probably would come back into somewhere around here. So, you want to get past here, break this, and then push up and then start pushing out. So that's the one thing that I will. But this also looks like a descending. That almost looks like a descending consolidation that fell out. Now back test. Now it's going to matter. If it gets rejected here, it's going to come down hard. If it doesn't get rejected here, it's going up hard. Period. No, Mr. I don't have any real thoughts on FET. Isn't that Phantom? Is that the Phantom token? Mr. Stott? We grew up in the woods. You can't handle it. Anna, welcome in. So glad to see you in here. That is so awesome. I love seeing you in here. I love it. As you guys know, my son has a friend, Anna, at school as well, who, the greatest thing for him. That's so perfect for him because she helps him out a lot, and she doesn't look at him for, his autism and being nonverbal. She's like, she makes sure he does everything, and she believes in him, so it's the best thing that happened to him. Right from the beginning of school, she took a shining to him, which is great. There's also another girl, Dorothy, that walks up and gives him a hug every day and tries to encourage him. So he gets a lot of support. He's home with us today, just more out of precaution. We have a lot of, not a lot, but we had some snowfall last night. It's really cold. It's only 20 degrees when we woke up. I think right now it's about 27. He had like a 99 point. It was a very low grade if he had one. But sometimes it's hard to tell because, when kids drain and poop and stuff, their temperature goes up a little bit, but he's definitely draining out good. So better to have him home than with the kids. So he's going to stay with us. He's going to go hopefully tomorrow. He's got a half day Wednesday and Thursday for conferences and no school Friday. So it's going to be a very short week for him. Frankie Fresh, good morning. And thanks for being in town our 6+ months with the XRB Predictor. And being a very trusted person in this community who goes above and beyond. Hopefully Janine is doing well this morning as well. And your hand is improving just that so slightly of an amount. No, I haven't done Casper in a couple weeks since Devin asked me to. Which he's a huge fan. I just don't really have any reason to. It keeps breaking down out of the structures and goes to even lower lows, and then it just back tests the structure. Like right now, it's a similar thing. This isn't what you want to see. You don't want to see a breakdown out of structure. Now, the weekly is massively oversold, but you don't want to see a breakdown out of structure to where it's got to come 30% up just to get rejected. Like these can loom large as, these are chaos. Ever since that little thing happened with Casper, for a lot of people, it's going to have to prove itself, and it's just not doing it. Not a lot of people are going to touch this token right now. And when you have no positivity and momentum, you got to do something to get the people's attention. And right now, to get the people's attention, you got to get past it. Most people won't even touch this if it's under a penny. Now, in the weekly, it's significantly oversold. So maybe if you're going to touch it, you start paying attention. But ironically, what is going on with the monthly? Think about this, guys. This is a problem. It's gone all the way down. Look at this. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen when you go to the monthly time frame. I mean, literally, this is legitimately, if we just come from here, when we had all these problems happen in January, this token's fallen out by 75%. And you're going to tell me it's that massively overbought? How does this even happen? How does that happen? I always have to go to it like it's an anomaly and I got to go to a different chart because it just doesn't seem real. But then when I go to different charts, oh, well, you got to find the ones where it's been available for a long time. That's the problem with Casper because it's not everywhere. But OKX is not, with volatility, it's a little different too. So you got to see the difference? Because you got to find it where the chart actually matches up. This one doesn't go. It's a crazy how when you go to different exchanges. That's why I always say, make sure you're on different exchanges. Look how that weekly looks on this one. It looks weak. But then when you go to some slightly different ones, you can see it's not as bad. Like, let's go to Casper on crypto.com. Still not great. Still moving in the downward direction. No real momentum. But we are massively oversold in the weekly. Maybe finally bottoming out. This could have finally been the bottoming formation. If it is, it'll look something like this. If this is just hear me out. If this is the bottoming formation, I would look at it like this. If it's the bottoming formation, it'd be something like this, which means you can look at it like this. You could look at it like this because it's a stationary support. So you could be at rock bottom. Aside from that little wick down where it hit 00628, that's like a 16% move or so, but you're pretty close to the bottom if it doesn't fall out. So just be cautious and make sure it's something that you're really looking at. Let's see. You're welcome, Frankie. Mike B, good morning, and thanks for being in town tonight. 3+ months with that. Yes. Ladies, man, apparently so, because he gets that the ladies like him, but he's a kind-hearted little man. He's very sweet, and he's not invasive, and he's just always happy. People like to be around happy and loving. Jason May, good morning. Jason Whipple, thanks for being in town zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor, and thanks for being a very integral part of this community, my friend. OKY is probably the better chart to look at. Yeah, only because of volatility, but it's hard to look at that one when it comes to stochastic because the numbers are so weird. So I try to, I try to look at different ones as well just so I can make sure is all. Let's see. Whoops. Just going through this real quick. But thank you to the 124 people watching. I greatly appreciate the 108 likes. That's incredible. That means a lot to me, actually. That so many of you are tuning in, and not just that, are hitting that like button. I'm not surprised that there's a decent audience this morning because a lot of people are watching this and excited. I'm excited. In fact, I'm going to do something. I'm so excited. I gifted 5 subs to the community as a thank you to everybody. So that's my other account. I can't gift it through my main account. It doesn't let you on YouTube. So I gifted 5 subs to the community. So obey, no. I am Job. I am Job. Now you reminded me of Mrs. Doubtfire. I am Job. I love it. I am Job. Obey, no. Striker and One Truth Seeking 8. Congratulations on getting your gifted subs for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And the Stranger, congratulations on getting the gifted sub and now being in town for 6+ months with the XRB Predictor. Welcome back, my friend. Hopefully this encourages other people to join Tom's Army or to gift to other people. I would encourage you, if you get something out of what I do, join Tom's Army to show me that generosity, the courtesy, and just the thank you for putting all this out. I don't ask for anything in return, but if you want to pay it forward, it makes me feel good. Oh, absolutely, Paranomia. I have CLSQ right up here. We watch it every single day. We've got it charted out. We're looking to see if this reversal, if it was a reversal, but it held this uptrend right now. It's still in need of back testing lower. If it wants to break back down and validate the breakout, it very well, because of the way the market's moved, but the daily came down to oversold real quick. The way the market is moving today could get some volatility to the upside. We could get some volatility because I can create a pattern now. Yes, that uptrend is like that, but I could technically create a smaller pattern for us now with Seals Q. It's given us the evidence now after this recent consolidation. I would probably, for this consolidation, I would probably to see if it's going to break down. Obviously, that uptrend is very important, but it has given us wick pull-throughs. Something like this I would look at. Look at this. This is your consolidation. So it can come below that uptrend a little bit, but this is what I would look at, guys. Absolutely. Seals Q's has beautiful news. Beautiful. And yeah, this will be one, like I said, I'll kick myself. I follow this, but I was so focused on other things that I kind of let it slip. Had the perfect buy set up right here. Just I wasn't paying attention to it as much. Back tested exactly like we thought. Came up exactly like we were planning. Now it's all about how far does it back test. Does it break? If it breaks out of this formation past 816, it's going to go on a run. Probably in the short term up to like 12 bucks. 12 bucks. But yeah, Paranomia, excellent news they've got. Excellent. Sorry, I made 30 people or 25 people leave because I talked about other things. My bad. How long have we been on? 51 minutes. Holy shit. It's been a great live, honestly. I think this has been a fun live. I think we've got a lot of stuff out. If you're just tuning in, what we're watching is this setup right now for if it moves further. But right now, the most important thing is here. We came up to, here, let me show you it in real time. We came up to 255, which is the second layer of resistance. First layer was at about $2.42, which we were able to overtake. And now what we're looking for is a back test here to see if we, so basically 255 was overtake, or was the rejection point initially. Not even a bad rejection. The next layer, if we get over 255 and hold it, would be 265 to 268. But before we can do that, we've got to see if we're going to back test 242 or if we're going to continue on. That's the big thing right now. We did not, technically, we double topped on that 4-hour candle. So we need to see if we can break out now, or if we pull back down to 242. If we break out from here, we're going to the 265 to 270 area. And then we could either back test 255, or if we got up to like 275, maybe we could back test 265 and be back within the pattern. Best case scenario, we end up back in this pattern that consolidated where the apex ends December of this year, get back up in here and finish the consolidation within and prove that this is some kind of bullish flag consolidation, which it looks like a broadening little wedge here, which honestly, I like that because the grand pattern, if you pull it out, it's a broadening wedge. And because we already came to the bottom that third time, and technically on a broadening wedge, you only need 2 hits on each side to confirm the pattern. The fact we held the bottom of the broadening wedge on the third tap, maybe even the fourth tap there, depending on how you look at it, should allow us to come up to $3.86 in time and then possibly finish off our targets at 549 and 639 in due process, due fashion. But I think when it happens, it's going to happen quick. Frankie Fresh says, thanks, Tom, for keeping it real and giving us the most honest and accurate TA on YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. Oh, I appreciate that, Mr. Frankie Fresh. I love hearing that kind of stuff. I try my best. Last couple days I came in and I wasn't as humble because there was things that needed to be said, but that doesn't do the job for anybody either way. It might be funner and entertaining, but it doesn't do a good job. Because then you separate people and you divide instead of conquering together, and that's not what we're trying to do. So I acknowledge that. Sometimes I got to say what I say and have to be blunt, but today's my kind of live. I like the live, the flow, the vibe, everything about this live. Mr. Hall, good morning. I'm glad you're in here, John. Hope you're having a blessed morning. Am I out at 6:39? I don't know. I can't possibly answer that. I have to see the setup. In my heart, no. But I have to see if it would be the top of this cycle, because my own expectation was 549 and ultimately topping out at 639 for this cycle, from the consolidation of January of 2017 to November of 24, playing this out over the next couple of years to get up to those levels. So I don't know. It's going to be tough just to sell it outright unless I see a complete collapse. I'm not technically looking to sell at 34 cents just because it's at $6.49. I'll be honest. But I'll be honest when we get there. I thought the golden opportunity, and remember I had bought the second bag of XRP at 38 cents. That, when you look at this, is when I said in that live 10 months ago, I tried to warn everybody I sold 75% of my crypto days ago, Bitcoin target, and it was possibly 75, and where did we hit? That was 10 months ago, remember, when I made that video about Bitcoin going to 75. Does anybody remember where it actually went? I made that call up here 10 months ago. Look where it went to. I don't claim to be good at what I do, but what did it go to? I know a thing or two. I know what I'm talking about before everybody else even knows what's hit them. I'm so far ahead that I look like a complete jackass all the time. I acknowledge that. But from the time I said this in January, come on now. That was a $35,000 drop on Bitcoin that I called before it ever started and told everybody exactly where to flip their money. Like, I don't have to pretend. It's all in my history. And I took a beating on that. Go watch that live from 10 months ago. I got slaughtered to the tune that 300 people or 240 people unsubscribed. Believe it or not, 240. That was my biggest unsubscribe day ever on YouTube. Almost 300 people unsubscribed that day. But they regret it now. Even told them where to turn focus to. Didn't like that live either. That was the one I did, and then a couple days later, I even tried to reiterate it. And then it took about 2.5 months, and Bitcoin, in fact, hit 75K. And then we did the silver and mining stocks, gold and silver mining stocks, yada, yada. But there was a lot during that time period that we talked about, and it resonates with some. And like I said, I had my biggest unsubscribe day in the history of my channel that day. But we've made up for it. I think when that happened, we dropped down to like 42,000 subscribers or something, from just about 42,400, maybe even under 42 actually, because there was about 400 to 500 people that unsubscribed that week. But now, as you see, we've grown back to 47,200, so it's a blimp, but it still sucks in a way, because people trust you, and then when they really need to trust you, they're like, fuck this guy. He went against what I want. Oh, you should trust me because I went against what we wanted. So today, $2.42. If we can't get past that 255 is the bottom line. It's going to be a day of consolidation. It has to. You can't just go straight up. We talked about the double top in the 4-hourly, 2-hourly, 1-hourly. It looks like we need to come back down here. Maybe it's 243-ish. But it looks like we should try to come back down there and back test. Willie Spinney, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. You'll see I updated it. So anybody who joins Tom's Army, you don't have to go into the members only section to get the Telegram. It pops right up when you join or rejoin Tom's Army. Now it's one of the perks. There'll be a link that says the Telegram, read the prompt, and then you can easily join the Telegram right there on the spot. You don't have to go into the YouTube channel anymore. Once you join, you are welcome to be in here. We have 496 members in here now. We try to do it for members of Tom's Army now because we had a lot of spam. We still get spam a lot, believe me. They try to spam me as well, claiming to be XRP Future Millionaire, and they talk to me, and I'm like, you see who I am, right? You're trying to scam the actual XRP. That doesn't work very well. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like, you need to be in here. If you're part of this, you really need to be in here. Grant, welcome in. I see Grant's in here. Beautiful. Remember to accept the prompts, everybody. Look, I can click here and it'll be like, hey, you don't need to do a prompt. You're the creator. But make sure you read through this. It gives you a very defined thing. Define put this out for everybody. And then there's so much stuff. We have the content link so you never miss any content. The XRP daily setup, not just me, like the whole community took over here. So, and then we've got the security page. So you flag, see, this is what I'm talking about. Somebody's claiming to be me. Look at the name though, XRP Future Millionaire XRP. That's clearly not me, but they claim to be me. It always happens everywhere. They can't create a YouTube page, so they create anything else they can to try to mimic me. What's this? Oh, somebody just shared that. Okay. But yeah, so there's a security center. My Pager X, I encourage you to make sure you watch this. It's where I put all my personal stuff on here that I want so that it doesn't get caught up with everybody. The last thing I put was that, and this was a good thing. Everybody was like, isn't this bad? It's actually good. So Satoshi Era Wallet sold 11,000 Bitcoin worth over 1.3 billion after 15 years of holding. And this culminated a selling phase from 2 weeks ago where they started with 3,500 Bitcoin worth 395 million. 1 week ago, they had two sales of 2.3K, so 2,362 and 1,966 Bitcoin worth about 476 million. Then 1 day ago, now 2 days ago, they sold 3,601 Bitcoin worth 372 million. And then just 12 hours ago, ironically, right before the spike up, but they need this. So when there's incoming volatility to the upside, you can sell so that you can get better pricing. They made 361.84 million. They now have 0 Bitcoin. They sold all of their Bitcoin. Now, the cool thing is, that money I can almost assure you is going to go into the alt tokens when they were oversold. Isn't it ironic that they pushed out and then all of a sudden we have this alt token movement? Because the whales are not dumb. The institutional money's not dumb, you know? So I would embrace this one. I'm going to go because my son's home, obviously. I want to make sure everything's going good. Oh, great question, Frankie Fresh, before I leave. The long-short ratio. That's honestly a great question. Nose a little drainy too. Let's see. Unbelievable. There's still more shorts than longs even after all this. That is so crazy for everything. Like Bitcoin's not much, but there's 50.32% short compared to 49.6% long. Ethereum's even wider, 51.6% short, 48.3% long, and that's in the 24 hours, which is what I like to look at. XRP, 50.1% short, so more short than long in all three of the major ones. What about Solana? 50.3 to 49.6, so more short than long still, Frankie Fresh, believe it or not. Which I'm not surprised by that this morning because we really should have a pull down here. XLM, if we do the same thing as XRP, if it pulls to 244, this should come from about 30.5 back down to about 28.9, 29 cents. And this would be standard operating procedure. Now, I will preface this by if we get a deal with the government during the day, it's going to be used as volatility to the upside. And then that'll push us to this next resistance. So basically, the next area would be up here. But we'll stay on top of this all day. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Make sure that subscribe button. Join the community. If you're looking to trade crypto, IOTA, the WEEX link is there in the video description below and pinned comments of this very live. After the live is there, you'll have a bunch of different ways. It'll have the same information. But WEEX is where I have my 100,000 spot IOTA, which I'm very proud of. And you can buy it in spot, no KYC worldwide. TOOBIT is where you can copy trade me, which are Linnea trade is moving up a little bit, but we'll see how it reacts with the 2.88 billion token unlock today. You heard that rate, 2.88 billion. Or 17% of their total supply out right now. And then you can also trade Epic and other things on there as well. And then I have BITUNIX. Obviously, I have my leverage that I like to do there. And then, well, I do like it on TOOBIT as well, but just I keep it separate. I don't want anything where I have most of my money to be connected to the leverage. And then I have Proton XPR on BITUNIX, like, I don't know, 500,000 tokens or something. Something like that. But anyhow, Be blessed, everybody. Have a great day. I don't know. A lot of people like to short the market, but after that historic liquidation, it's very dangerous. Today's an opportunity, probably, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean we're just going to go to 242. We could very easily shoot up past 255 and end up pushing 265 area and then back testing 26 or 55, or we could go right up to 275 and back test it at 265. So it's not a guarantee, but I would suspect some downward volatility because of the time of the morning it is, and things like that, just the movement. So I'm very happy. So we'll continue this later. We'll touch base. And now that I can do the lives in here, we're not going to be interrupted because T doesn't mind if I'm doing it in here. He gets to have the living room and everything. So this might be the new spot for lives here in my son's home. It's actually pretty cozy in here. Michaela did a good job cleaning it up. Brought a chair in here. She's got her desk. Oh, she already had a chair in here. Duh. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy the view. But thank you all for the 134 likes, and we'll touch base later. This has been a spectacular